Okay, here's the question.
Solid poop the whole time. No diarrhea at Burning Man.
That's what I heard.
That's a big step.
That is a big step. How do you live at Burning Man?
I like to be well supplied, well stocked. I like to feel safe.
Yep.
Like there's available shade.
Yep.
And like I'm taken care of.
Yep. Yep.
I like to speak my mind. I like to speak truth. I like to hug people and do all the cheesy stuff you don't do in the real world, like help people with anything. Do you need help with that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because if I did that to you in the parking lot of Walmart, you'd have looked at me funny. But you're trying to pour water, and I can help you with that. I'm going to do that because I'm a human being and you're a human being. That's what I like.
That's you.
Size, shape, color, attitude, dance style, background, language. Nobody's the same out here. It was the most international crowd I've seen in a really long time, and I felt like I was in a foreign country.
Wow.
It was awesome. So yeah, that's the burn for me.
That's your burn?
That's it, man. Be out here, be real, be fun, talk to people, experience, look at shit and talk about shit you never would. Be real. Love, hug, be kind. Don't be a douchebag.
Fuck yeah.
You know? Take care of your body, take care of your mind. I don't know. It all sounds cheesy when you try and explain it to people in the real world, so what the fuck?
It's okay. That's their problem.
Yeah. I hadn't gone to much art, so last night, fully fatigued, body not capable of doing anything else. I literally rode from art to art to art all the way home and stopped and took a break at each one. It took me like 3 hours to get home, but it was awesome. I never go to an art museum, but I went to 8 pieces of amazing art last night.
Wonderful.
I danced to Skrillex, the Alan Parsons Project. I danced to Bad Karaoke. I danced to all my favorite songs. I danced to songs I would never dance to. I saw a guy play with a fire sword last night. Yeah. It's unbelievable, man.
Sweet man.
Don't come. It's terrible. And if you think you can't handle it, you can't. Let me tell you something about Burning Man. If you're convinced this is too much for you, you're 100% correct. That's it. Don't bother. Don't even debate in your head. If you're like, oh, that's too much, cheers. Go ahead, enjoy your cocktail party. It's fine. This isn't your thing. But if you have the inkling that you can survive it, that you are willing to come to the worst place on earth to party. Nobody would party here on purpose, ever. Survive first, party second, with a bunch of people who are also surviving first and partying second. They've already bought the ticket and taken the ride because they're here in the playa. They're self-sufficient, they're surviving. And that's a huge deal. It's not $100 to walk into a club and get VIP service. It's fucking, I'm here, I'm doing this thing, and so are you, and we're all surviving in this shithole of a partyville. It's the worst. Imagine if you threw a party and everybody came, and then at that party, everybody tried to throw the best party there. That's this. Whatever your party happens to be. Peace, I'm out. Nostradamus, 2018.
I want to live dust-free, so that was my first priority. And in order to do that, what we want to do is, because we travel such a long distance by motorbike, once we got to Reno, we rented a storage unit and brought that in.
So you ride a bike a long distance?
All the way across the country from Canada, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then, so you actually construct in Reno before you take off?
I needed an afternoon of construction in Reno at the hotel while we were shopping for food. The girls were shopping, I was building this shelter. So what I have here is a 2-inch styrofoam and I've created basically an igloo door out of it. It's kind of like a square yurt, basically. And with that, all I've got is the whole thing being held in by Gorilla Tape. It hasn't moved all week long. We've been here a week and a half. It's been super solid. Using Gorilla Tape, I created some flaps to keep the dust out. So I've got, all the way around, both inside and out. And a simple door, same thing with the Gorilla Tape and string. We created that. To give it a little bit of stability for the wind, I stuck a 2x4 up top. And along the bottom on a trim to give us a bit of a door stop, I got us a 2x4 there. The 2x4 is strictly being held with tape on the top and bottom, and that's enough to keep the wall nice and solid. Gives you sound insulation at night for the noise, because we were right next to a DJ booth, and we were fairly quiet in here. I won't say super quiet, but we're fairly quiet. But no wind. I couldn't tell if it was windy or dusty or whatever going on out there. It's pitch black once you get on the inside. From an outside perspective, I use this just to give myself a pivot point at the door and give the door some stability, so that 1x2. And the nice thing about the 1x2 is it fits in nicely into the existing slots here at the door, to the latch, the door latch, and I just slid it right up to the other door latch up top.
Natural holding points on it already, and then makes for your hinges, so your door can open and close stably.
Exactly. Now, to give us some barrier from the dust, the nice thing about renting from this company is you can buy these bags of packing blankets. They're thin, woolly kind of blankets. They look like belly buttoned lint, basically. And for like $8, you get a whole bag. And then I use that right along the top, all the way up top, as my filter for dust from the outside. The whole door basically sits on top of the wall and gets strapped in with zap straps. Doesn't go anywhere up that.
One of the things that I noticed, I usually don't comment this much, but one of the things that I noticed was that you don't have the door pulled all the way up on the U-Haul. Could you talk about the strategy for bringing it this far down, as opposed to taking it all the way to the top?
Well, as it works out, the door actually becomes a convenient second anchor point on the inside. So I've got 2 rooms in here. I've got my interior mud room, so to speak, like you would in a house. And when we come in, all of our boots, all of our clothes, all of our ply belts, anything that's naturally dusty gets taken off in the first room. Ex-military guys, so we have a decon kind of line here where you take your dirty clothes off here, and then only the clean crosses over to the next side. So when we come in, you end up toweling off on the inside and dusting off on the inside. Make use of used carpet. We bought some old carpets from a Goodwill kind of facility, and I line the entire floor with a carpet. Plus, you want a carpet outside your outside door. It just gives one more place to dust off your boots before you come in. With this type of rental vehicle, it does give you an exit ramp, but I deliberately did not center the door on it. I wanted to use the ramp as a table. So we've been using this as a dining area, storage area for our water whenever we needed to bring stuff outside, and it gives you a handy table that's very solid.
Because as you know, if you don't have a table, you end up putting everything on the dirt.
Ground. Yeah. So off the ground, great place to put our stuff. There we go.
Fantastic.
And allows less tracking of dust. Come on in. Come on in. So here's the back end of the inside of the door. So you can see the door only comes in halfway. Everything else has been taped up at all the seams of the door, just to give it enough of an air seal. The corners are all taped. And what we've done in here is created a kitchen area. This is where all the water was stored. Originally this was full right to the outside the edge of the door here, with stacks of water jugs. A week and a half later now we're down to 4 jugs, so we're doing pretty good. This is where we would then hook up our ply belts and all our gear, so that none of this would ever come inside to the sleeping area. The cooler, make use of the existing leftover chunks of foam and stick it under your cooler and behind your cooler. Just build in some extra insulation, because the floor of this thing does get hot, so does the wall. So any pieces of insulation, make use of it.
And you're just using apply ice, right, inside?
Oh yeah, well, we started off with dry ice for the first few days, but since then apply ice, and our stuff has been cold ever since. Now here's the interior wall that I was talking about. And the nice thing about the interior wall is it's custom built to size. It's 2 1-inch pieces of styrofoam as opposed to a 2-inch for the outside wall. And what it was designed to do is, once again, give us another heat barrier, and of course dust barrier. So every night we always were disciplined, and we have a doorway that opens up here. I put in a bit of a curtain with a piece of plastic, and we enter into quite a large bedroom. We actually got a king size bed in a box that you could buy, so it's an actual real bed, and as soon as you unroll it, it fills up to a king size. Come on in.
I'm not going to go in because I don't want to dust your bedroom.
Oh, that's okay. So last night, anyways.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
What we had across the back was more plastic for the storage area. I didn't want to heat that much more space, so we had actually closed off this whole back area with plastic. I've just taken it down right now for packing purposes. And as you can see, a king-size bed fits almost the entire floor. And to give us a little bit of heights, I cut some pallets that we got given to us at a store. We asked permission, and they said, here, take 8 pallets. Take 8 pallets, and then we had to cut 2 of them in half to fit a king-size bed. And that gave us, nice sitting area, not flat on the ground. Once again, more insulation. Carpet goes all the way up underneath. Any cardboard we had from packing, also use that for insulation underneath the flooring, because that's where a lot of the heat comes from as well. And then lighting, normal. Our first year we had solar panel, and fans. So I got some solar panel fans over here, and this gave us more than enough space for 3 people to actually stay for the week.
Yeah, it's amazing how tidy this is. This is not what a large tent was going to
Now,
look
if you
like.
look behind you, where this meets up with the roof is also where the door, when rolled halfway, ends. So that gives me top support to keep the wall nice and solid up top.
So you rolled up the door to the point where it was going to hit here, so you can use it for your support.
Right, and it's a natural fit to give you just enough space for a bed and everything here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And this is your air conditioning unit?
Yeah, we actually got a standalone air conditioning unit. You do have to vent those outside. If you vent it inside, it's going to super heat the place. And the other thing you got to do is midway through the week, you got to clean the filters.
Okay.
If you don't clean the filters, next thing you know, this now becomes a heat box.
How often did you clean them?
Once during the week and a half.
Wow, okay.
Now we're back to, we're sitting at 75 degrees, and outside it's in the 90s.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's how we've been sleeping in the morning. Nice and comfortable.
Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. So, is this the first time you've done this?
No, this is the second U-Haul configuration. I did almost the exact same thing, but last time I did not have an AC unit. Okay. And what it would allow us to do is the fans were enough to keep us, in here till about 9 o'clock. Yeah. With the AC, I could come in for an afternoon nap. Without the AC, it was uncomfortable in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
So that's what made it.
Also good for bedding down for a sandstorm.
Absolutely, There are literally times where when I open the door, not knowing there was a sandstorm going out, I'd shut the door right away and say, I'm not going out. Let's wait 20 minutes, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
In terms of living areas, are like me and you guys do kind of the same thing. We both have these styles of tents, and they just seem to work.
Easy to set up.
Very easy to set up. Yeah.
Necessity of the tarps.
Yeah. The tarps are.
Oh, your sun tarps.
A little blown down. Is going to be most of the day.
A couple broken poles, but
it's also it's kind of fun to build your home. You build your own little home pretty quickly. Yeah. Then you think about things like, where's the door going to be angled, and most people do this because it's facing the street, and you want to be able to communicate see what's going on and be open, whereas in the real world you might turn the other way or have some kind of fence, right?
Hang out in your
backyard
and
another building,
or hang out in your backyard because it's a different.
Or is it?
I think every year we try to bring less stuff and try to be more
with
efficient.
the most impact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bring the stuff that really matters. Don't bring a ton of outfits. We don't
Lord
need
knows I don't.
extra, coolers. We just need 2 coolers.
Our big thing is we like to bring real food, so we have chicken, sausages, cheeses,
everything.
some actually
Coffee.
cookable stuff. Yeah.
Olive oil.
Bacon's a can man.
Bacon.
I'm a can man, which means I mostly have canned food because every time I try something else, it just doesn't work for me. So like I said, not everybody can do all of these things, but we need to share, you know.
Yep.
And that's
why we cooked you an egg.
That's why the egg was cooked. Exactly.
You don't have to eat canned beans for the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's true.
So you have like as you said before, kind of the basics of the camp, but you know, preparing like meals and having things like chicken and stuff like that. How did you come about to be able to do that?
I think just trial and error, really. Like, see what works, see what doesn't work. You got to make sure you have enough ice for all your food, and how you're going to store everything. We have about 3 coolers. One stays closed for the more frozen stuff. One's mostly for beer. One of them is now empty. Yeah, you just gotta prepare.
Yeah. I guess there's one
hard-boiled eggs.
I guess
bring
like,
those.
Hard-boiled. You pre-boil them.
Pre-boil them and pre-shell them, and then they're good to go.
And you don't have that cracking egg issue that we were just talking about.
And the shell trash too.
And
cold cuts are
trash.
good, like fresh sandwiches. We brought cucumbers this year. I remember past years didn't have enough fruit and veggies, so that's really important. Carrots are good.
For us, anyways.
Yeah.
I guess having one cooler that you don't open all the time is like part of the key, right?
Yeah.
So I did do the dry ice thing one year, and it worked, but I don't really know where to get it anymore. So there's a lot of things that make it hard if you don't have an RV. Like if you have an RV, it's designed to have all these things. Like you have a fridge that runs off the propane, you have like your kitchen, you have all these things. There's air conditioner, there's a bathroom, there's
You
not
have
gonna
a
lie,
nice
like it's
place to hide in a dust storm.
Yeah, exactly. Until you I was here with my friends and I went in their RV, and I remember us sitting there during a dust storm with the door open, talking about the dust storm, and we were like, "Oh, look at all this fucking dust! Like this is crazy. I can't see anything." And then the whole RV was filled with dust. Now it's like it was immediately turned into like a Burning Man RV. There's just no going back. There's nothing you can do.
It never goes away.
We stopped at a hotel and asked if we could use their cleaning cart that they used to clean the rooms, and they let us use it, which was cool of them.
Awesome.
And so we tried to clean it as much as we could, but still, like, if you, for the rest of that RV's life, if you slap a pillow, dust is coming out.
You turn the AC on, the air filter just shoots dust in.
We ratchet strapped all the pillows to the outside of it and drove around to try to clean the dust off, and it doesn't do it. You just can't.
No amount of cleaning can get off of anything.
After this, we have like a bit of a tradition. We go swimming in Pyramid Lake, and like
Always wanted to do that.
you should do it. You can definitely join us. We'll definitely be there, and there won't be like there's not even anybody there. It's like nobody really knows about it, but it's right there. But when you get in the water, you have so much dust on you, it just looks like milk, and then you think it's gone because you submerged yourself and you get out. But if you get in again, it'll keep doing it. Like it's just like changes your whole body, I guess. Yeah.
It stays in your hair for weeks.
It definitely stays in your hair. You're got
cuticles.
Yeah.
Under the nails.
Yeah. The worst for me is like the cracking, like the dry cracking of the fingers and the lips, like
Chapstick. Bring chapstick.
Yeah. Chapstick is good to have.
Multiple times a day.
So with the exception of going to the Pyramid Lake after burn, how do you do like cleaning, like just like basic?
Honestly, we cleaned our tent 3 weeks ago from last year.
Yeah. I didn't even open mine.
I don't think we opened it until about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. It's best like once you have like the stuff you need to do it. I think it's cool just to keep it all like that's my Burning Man stuff. And it certainly helps the whole packing. Like, I didn't have any time to pack. Like, if I hadn't already had my tent and a cooler and everything in one place, I probably wouldn't be here. Like, because I just didn't have the time. Yeah. It's fun to like limit yourself with what you have too. Like, I love leaving a lot of things behind, and it's like, no, I'll figure it out. I don't have enough things to wear, but I'll figure it out. Like, that's part of the fun.
Every time I come back, I'm like, this is really all I needed. I don't need anything else. So I try not to like buy anything for the rest of the year.
It balances.
You have it all right here.
Yeah, it balances maybe what you needed to pull this off in the first place. And then previous years you can be like, no, I have everything. I don't need anything more. Like, I have it all.
Small additions.
Yeah, there's always little things. Like, you know, this year I'm gonna build a bike, stuff like that.
Like a cup holder for your bike, a squeaky thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Bell.
But it's hard to know how to live here and what to do until you've at least done it once. Like,
read the 10 principles.
Please.
Read the book and the little thing.
At least we've like encountered a few like just normal vehicles trying to drive out to the man. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw that last night. I'm pretty sure I saw that last night, and I saw that, I woke up to it this morning, and it's like, if you don't read that book and you don't go with someone who's been, there's little things, well, big things like that that I guess you just might not know. And it's kind of not cool to come in like, we don't know anything, we're just gonna experience it like it's all new. Like, you have to know some of how it works.
You gotta